Right, so welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. And now we've had a couple of court cases in the news of late, and the trial of Czech businessman and fugitive Radovan Krejcir continued in the Palm Ridge court yesterday. Krejcir and 5 others are accused of facing charges of assault, kidnapping and attempted murder. Well, SABC journalist Gillian Pillay has been reporting on this particular story, and she joins us now to tell us a bit more. Gillian, always great to chat to you. You know, the Oscar Pistorius case captured the world's attention and took a little bit away from this. But in many ways, the plots in this particular case are by far and away stuff of Hollywood.
Yes, no, definitely, Peter. You know, this trial started 3 weeks ago. With the bail application, we covered it extensively, and there was a lot of media hype around the trial. Around the bail application. You know, international media, particularly from the Czech Republic, had a particular interest in this case. We're now in the 3rd week, as I said, and we've had 3 witnesses. It's moving at a snail's pace, you know. But a lot of testimony, a lot of important testimony, Hollywood testimony, as you put it. A lot of things that the ordinary person is almost oblivious to that is happening here right in Johannesburg, in Bedfordview, a very affluent suburb, you know, has really shocked a lot of us sitting in the gallery, listening to testimony day to day. We're now busy with the 3rd witness, Paul Ntabela. He's implicated, particularly the 2nd accused, Desai Lupondo, and he's also fingered Krejcir in his testimony, talking about, you know, how this whole thing came about, how he got involved.
All right, just summarize for us, for those people who perhaps don't know the story, what's he accused of in this particular instance, in this case? Because I know he's got several others, but in this one, what's the plot?
The plot in this particular case is that there was a drug consignment, a drug consignment that was given over to a guy called, and the names are even quite bizarre, a guy who works for a cargo company at OR Tambo International, a guy by the name of Doctor. Doctor disappeared with a consignment, and in return what they did, they then abducted Doctor's brother, Bekitemba Lukele, and what we understand from what's coming out of court, Bekitemba Lukele was then assaulted, poured with boiling water, and all these are allegations at this stage. And then eventually, after 5 days, released. And after some time, only in October last year, this happened in June of last year, and only in October, he made a statement to police. So that is where that is what the plot is around that allegation.
And the witnesses, this is people getting immunity and turning on each other, and this is pretty much how the case has been built.
Yes. You know, Peter, it's very interesting when you see someone that has been part of this group, as you'd say, you know, there's no honor amongst thieves. When you see one that's been with the group, but now he actually steps outside of this, and then he testifies against people that he's been very quite close to. And this is what we've seen from the first witness, Peter Msimango, also from this very witness that's testifying now, Paul Ntabela, who has, you know, turned against the very people they were friends with, people they've done deals with. You know, initially in these cases.
How long is this case going to go on for? As you said, it's going at sort of snail pace at this stage. Is it possible to give a sense of how long it's going to?
Peter, the case was set down for 3 weeks. We you know, there's a lot of rumor, and we're going according to corridor rumor. We do get a sense that the judge is going to roll it over, in the sense that we're going to take it week by week, probably extend it until the 3rd of June and take it as it comes. So it's still going to go on for quite some time. We're looking at, I mean, it could go on for the better part of the year. The state is looking at calling 10 witnesses. We've only heard the testimony of 3 witnesses, and the defense still has to present its case, call its witnesses. So we still have a very long way to go.
Talking about the defense, and the only reference we have now is the Oscar Pistorius case, and I'm just wondering, do the advocates in this particular story play out in the same way? I believe that the defense lawyer was
reprimanded
yesterday.
Yes, no, you know, it's the same like my lord, my lady, that type of, you know, that type of exchanges. But yesterday particularly we saw quite an interesting scenario between the judge and Krejcir's defense, where he basically asked her to, you know, to address relevant issues when cross-examining the witness. He asked her to bring evidence when she's asking him questions, for example, about how long would it take you from the mall where you were to the victim's home. Because she's trying to show that there could be a possibility that all of this didn't happen, but she doesn't have record or evidence to back this up, and that's what the judge wants. He wants us to move swiftly as opposed to diddling and daddling with, issues that he doesn't think is really important. So there was quite an interesting exchange between the judge and defense that you don't usually see in court.
All right, fascinating. Well, we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. But Gillian, thank you very much indeed for following the story and keeping us up to date. And I'm sure that we'll see reports in the news a little bit later on. Thank you so much for your time. All right, so that's Gillian Pillay, who's following this story, which I can only compare to Al Capone movies and things like that. Very bizarre. If you have any thoughts on that, at Morning Live SABC, that's our Twitter handle. We'd love to hear from you. All right, we're going to take